Welcome to MKE Gadgets. Happy New Year's. It's a new year. A lot of people on YouTube are spending some time on their videos to reflect back on last year. Okay, we got that done. So today we're going to talk about scribes. And what is a scribe used for? Here I have a piece of aluminum and this little combination square set. I got this at a rummage sale quite a few years ago. It's 4 inches long, and if I'm doing woodworking, metalworking, welding, this is the one tool that I use a lot. So if I just want to scribe a line, I wanted to cut this, and here's my Starrett scribe I picked up at a flea market this summer, and you drag it across the blade and you scribe a line. I probably might not see that, but there's a lot of different scribes I have here. The Starrett one I really like because on the end of this, it's hex, and when you lay it down, it won't roll off your desk or your workbench. This one, I don't know where I got it from, but I had it a long time, and it has this nice pocket clip, and that stops it from rolling. But this is a carbide tip, but it has a very nice sharp tip, and it's nice for digging out slivers and wood chips and metal chips out of your finger, because with that really sharp tip you can dig in and dig out any slivers or chips you get in there. If you have a Starrett combination set, and Starrett's not a sponsor, but they have a scribe built in, and I'm very diligent about putting this back. They're easily lost, but this is really nice. You might not have a combination square set like this. So every year I go to the car show and they give away these little screwdrivers, and they're nice because they're double-ended, flat on one side, Phillips on the other side. And I thought, well, this would make a nice scribe. All I gotta do is sharpen that tip. I got a holder for it, and if I don't want to get poked from that tip, I can just reverse this, and now the sharp point is covered up. So for many years I have done this. I've collected these from different tool shows, car shows, trade shows. Here's one I have from a long time ago. It doesn't come out, it's solid in there, but it makes a nice tip. Over the years I break taps, and I've been saving them. And why I save them, I don't know, but I'm sure glad I saved them today. Here's a broken quarter 20 tap, and I like the quarter 20 taps because they fit into the die grinder collet real nice. So it's very sharp here. This is high-speed steel. If you have a die grinder, you can spin this and sand a really nice tip on there. So that's what I did with this one. I took a square piece of oak, 3/4 by 3/4, 6 inches long. I laid out and I drilled each ends. After I ground a tip on a broken tap, I glued it in there, I took it to the lathe, and I turned the square into a round. I put a little groove in there. This is the first one I made, and the next one I make, I'll put 2 grooves in there. I rounded off the end, and I put a little paste wax on there. The whole project was made for free. I could mill a flat, I could grind a flat on there so it doesn't roll. This one has a tendency to roll. It's really nice. You can hold it in your hand like a pencil. And for scribing, it has a nice size to it. You can easily scribe a line. The broken tap is high-speed steel. And with that tip ground in there, that should stand up to a lot of punishment. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take one of these screwdrivers I got free at the car show. We'll throw it in the drill, and we'll take it over to the belt sander and grind a tip in there. So I'll meet you at the belt sander. I'm at the belt sander, and with the 80 grit disc, I'm going to make a nice tip on this. It doesn't take long to get a fine tip on there. You want to be careful not to heat it up and lose any temper in there and make the tip soft. So with that, there you have it. A scriber free. You can flip it around, you don't get poked. And you got a Phillips screwdriver. And whenever you need it, you got a nice scriber. But I would like to make one from high-speed steel so I have a longer tip life. So let's go to the die grinder. We're going to use 2 die grinders to put a nice tip on this broken tap. We have some water here to cool it so it doesn't get too hot. This isn't going to get loud. So I have some earplugs. I'm wearing safety glasses plus a grinding shield. You can really see how sharp that tap is and kind of dangerous. I'm using the coarsest grinding disc I have. I think it's like 40 grit. With the tip looking pretty good, I changed the disc to a 120 grit. And that's the finest I have, just to get some of the swirl marks out of it. I could continue to grind all the flutes from the tap out, but I kind of like it in there. It reminds me where I came from, and it reminds me to save broken taps because you never know what you can do with them. Next, let's put a handle on this and take it to the lathe. So meet me over at the Bridgeport mill. So I found the center of this 3/4 inch square piece of oak, 6 inches long. I recently got this precision machinist square from Christmas from my daughter, and she said, I don't know what it's for, but here you go. Well, this is what you'd use it for. It's tall enough that you can get this piece of oak square. And I can see behind here, there's no light shining through, so I know I'm square. So I know I'm not exaggerated like this or at a different angle. So these are very nice to have. If you don't have one, I'm looking to getting one. Center drill in one end, I'll flip around and I'll drill a 1/4 inch drill bit about 1 inch deep. And then we'll glue this in there and we'll take it to the lathe and we'll take off these corners here. So first off, center drill. I just got to go deep enough for my tailstock center. The second side I will center drill and then drill 1/4 inch drill bit, about 1 inch deep. Little super Gorilla Glue. I'll place them in the wood. This stuff is kind of like a gel, so it sticks real nice. It doesn't run all over your fingers. And I'll put some on the tap on the squares. Now this is size on size. This is 1/4 inch hole and a 1/4 inch broken tap. So I gotta pound it in now with a piece of wood. I'll just wipe off any excess glue. Let that dry for a minute. And then we'll make this square piece round on the lathe. Meet you at the lathe. We're at the Craftsman lathe. And in the chuck, I'm chucking on the broken off tap that's been sharpened. I got a nut here for a little spacer. I'm working on the tailstock. This is 3/4 square. And we're gonna, in the lathe, take the square piece and make it to a round piece and then sand it. Use great care when you're center drilling these so it doesn't run out too much. This one might run out more than my first one I made earlier today, but let's see how it looks. Well, that's one pass, and you can see I'm kind of taking the corners off of some of them. I got quite a few more passes to do. So I'm going to speed it up and see you in a little bit. Alright, so it's about 20 minutes later, and I took my time turning this down. I got it round. A little bit of tear out. Going way too slow on my RPMs. I have some 240 sandpaper. I'm going to sand it smooth. They got it nice and smooth. I'll take it out of the lathe and I'll cut off the end and come back so we can round off the end and then chamfer the end here where the broken off tap is. Well, today at MKE Gadgets we made a couple of scribes. We took a screwdriver I got for nothing and made it into a nice scribe. This would be a nice pocket scribe because you can flip it around, stick the pointy end in, and you got a little clip for your pocket. Also, this won't roll on your workbench. Next, we took a broken tap and a piece of scrap oak and made a nice scribe. Now the first one I made a little longer, and the second one I made shorter, and I kind of like the shorter one. It kind of feels nice in the hand. I put min wax on this one, and this I just used some cutting oil and I wiped it in. And I kind of like the color of the oil. With Christmas right around the corner, this could make a nice Christmas gift. Or this could be a nice collaboration. Somebody who is a machinist who breaks taps occasionally, and somebody who is a woodworker that has scraps of wood laying around, they could get together and make some fine, useful gifts. And you might be thinking, well, why did I use a broken tap? Well, that's what I had. Why did I use oak? Because that's what I had. So all these scribes we made today didn't cost nothing but the time. Showing you how to take some scrap and make something useful, maybe a gift for a loved one. So this is MKE Gadgets. Thanks for subscribing. I hope you enjoyed this today. Please tell your friends. MKE Gadgets out.